All right, y'all, welcome back to Tailored Health Tips. This is tip number 5, cutting out sugar. And this one was really something that I have struggled with on and off. I've tried several times to eliminate sugar. I've been successful, and then invariably I'll go back to sugar. And I want to take you back to, I think it was my late 20s, early 30s, when I successfully cut out sugar and I used to drink mainly water. And I remember when I first met Winnie back in 2004, one of the things she reminded me of is that I used to drink only water. Like I wouldn't even have like juice or sugary drinks or anything like that. But invariably, whenever I cut out sugar, I find a way to come back to it. And I think some of this may actually go back to the fact that I have a very sweet tooth. So being born and raised in Sierra Leone, we have like things that can be a bit on the sweet side. And one of my favorite one is something we call rice bread, which is like a almost like a pound loaf type cake, but made out of banana and rice, and it's delicious. I love that. Right, so I can eat like a whole thing of rice bread on my own, or rice bread on my own. And also we also have something that we call this peanut butter and farina concoction called, what is it called? The name is escaping me anyway, but it will come back to me. I remember that when I was coming to the US, like I actually had, yes, kanya, that's what I was looking for. So kanya is made out of peanut butter, farina, and sugar. Man, I love kanya. And I think those were like the initial things that really sparked my sweet tooth. And when I got to the US, I remember discovering condensed milk. So imagine like as a 12-year-old Gilbert's age, like opening a whole tin of condensed milk and literally going finger dip by finger dip by finger dip, and until I would finish like the entire can of condensed milk. And then I also discovered Entenmann's pound cakes. Whew, love Entenmann's pound cakes, the full loaf, not the mini. As my colleagues and friends now know, like I don't like the mini. It doesn't taste the same as the full pound loaf. And I've even been known, like if I come up to the current time, like and date, like I've been known to order like 6 of those pound loaves like via Amazon and pay like as much as $36 or more for them, right? Especially during COVID. Like I love Entenmann's pound cake, and like of course the sugar content is off the chain. And then started drinking lots of juice, and you know, then eventually went back to sodas. And South Africa is partly to blame here because I discovered South Africa and Kenya, I should say. I discovered something called Stony ginger beer. For my South African and Kenyan friends, and for my South African and Kenyan subscribers, you know what I'm talking about. So Stony ginger beer like just is so good. Of course, high sugar content. So that got me back into sodas. And then when I would do like movies with the family and we'll go to the theater, eventually we all started this practice of buying like large things of popcorn, and of course like the largest drinks. And Gilbert and I tend to like to buy like the largest drinks, of course lots and lots of sugar. So, and I've already told you a bit about ice cream as well. So like with the Haagen-Dazs and dulce de leche, and that version that has like the cookies. I forget the name of it, but anyway, it has the Oreos cookies in it. So all of these things like were ways that I would like just be taking in sugar constantly. And like I said, I had been successful at stopping having any sugar, and then eventually I'll go back to having sugar. So this just constant battle with sugar continues. So invariably though, once I learned specifically how sugar works in the body and what sugar does and the types of things that sugar is responsible for in terms of like the diseases and the metabolic syndrome type diseases that sugar contributes to, I became really focused on changing my relationship to sugar and to eliminating sugar. And as part of my getting rid of my beer belly, that was that's the second thing that I did extremely well, was to just cut out sugar. So I just stopped drinking juices, stopped drinking sodas, stopped having ice cream, and I became religious about reading all of the labels of anything that I bought. And if I saw sugar in any of its forms, I wouldn't buy it, because that's another thing that the food industry does very well, is they mask sugar by calling it like different things. There's even a very good case study, marketing case study, that talks about how, I think it's Smuckers, how they were able to game the system when it came to like the labels and the ingredients list that we're supposed to read, and how they broke up sugar into like its components, as opposed to showing like sugar and the full percentage of sugar. They broke it down into different things to make it sound like it wasn't as much sugar. So even when you read labels, like there are games being played by the food manufacturers. So I had to be really focused on cutting out sugar, and I was able to do so, and also got the kids to reduce their sugar intake as well. And for drinks, we substituted kombucha. And I know that has sugar in it, but the fermentation process is what leads to it. So I also learned to differentiate a bit between the natural sugars and the added sugars. And of course, like most of us who have paid attention to the science around sugar, I knew that high fructose corn syrup is something that I should avoid. And I did my best to avoid that prior to cutting out sugar completely. But once I made the decision to cut out sugar completely, high fructose corn syrup, anything that even sounded like it had high fructose corn syrup, I definitely wouldn't pick up. And that, I think, was actually a big game changer for me. Being able to cut out sugar has done a number of things. And when I get to talking about the benefits of losing my beer belly, I'll talk a bit more about some of those health benefits. But at this stage, let me pause and ask you, for those of you that are on a similar journey or who have also successfully lost your beer belly, what did you find helpful when it came to sugar? What did you do? Were you able to cut it out? Did you cut it out? Did you do something else? And for those who might be starting the journey, like, as you think about it, what are you planning to do to cut out sugar? And I will share in a later video how I reintroduced sugar for a different challenge, but I definitely in the beginning was able to cut it out. Okay, folks, if you like this video, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you think someone else would benefit from watching the video, please share. And if you would like to be notified when I release the next video in this series or other videos on my channel, please hit the notification bell. All right, y'all. See you soon.